Mike Bruffield here. Bit of a Stevie Ray style intro there for you. Because this week, Vinyl Jam number 5, we're going for a bit of SRV. Must be mental attempting this, but hey, it's a bit of fun, isn't it? It's supposed to be half entertainment, half kind of reaction, half a kind of like a lesson, if you like. I'm obviously going to fall flat on my face at points trying to keep up with Stevie Ray Vaughan, because we all know he is an absolute monster of blues guitar, super influential, totally, an amazing technique, speed, tone, great voice, cool songs. He had it all, didn't he? So I hope people don't get it the wrong way. It's not like I don't mean to be disrespectful to the music by just blowing over it, but what I'm trying to do is demonstrate a way of practicing, which is one, fun, two, you learn a lot because you're playing along with one of the best rhythm sections in the world and one of the greatest guitar players in the world. So you're picking up information hourly and you're experimenting, you're picking up about string bends and position playing and intensity, and that's a common word that we use in this series, isn't it? That the intensity, and it's definitely going to be a concern today as we kind of drop the needle and try and keep up with what's going on. So what record am I using now? I did have Live Alive on vinyl, but I don't know where it is. Maybe my brother took it to Australia. Did you take it to Australia? So I don't have that one. I haven't had it for quite a while. I do have all the other studio albums on vinyl. But at the weekend, it was Father's Day, and I managed to, with all this COVID business, I managed to sneak into a record shop and buy myself Blues You Can Use, which is a live album. And it's a radio broadcast, so it's not one of those kind of like that you would see in the regular discography, if you like. But I just thought, hey, that would make a really great one as a vinyl jam, and I took a chance on it, 25 quid, and what a great album! And there's something really cool about it. I think the Live Alive one was, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great album. But I did kind of read that there was overdubs have to be done, and so as a true live album it probably wasn't. You know what I mean? So this is actually probably a better representation of what Double Trouble, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble were like live. And one of my biggest regrets actually is I saw Stevie Ray Vaughan advertised to play at the Manchester Apollo when I was what would I have been then? 1988 I would have been 14, 15, and I thought, I've got to go to that, and I just didn't. Probably because we did go see Eric Clapton and Rory Gallagher in that time. It was kind of great, but just didn't manage to see Stevie Ray Vaughan. And then next thing you know, I actually remember when Stevie Ray Vaughan died as well, and my mum came into my bedroom, and I was sitting on the bed playing my guitar, and my mum came in and said, I just heard on the radio Stevie Ray Vaughan has died in a helicopter crash. And it was like, oh, right, wow. And it's kind of one of those things that kind of only hits you kind of later on. It's kind of hard to process, especially when you idolize someone like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And so I never got a chance to see Stevie Ray. So those of you that did, please leave a comment underneath and share maybe your experience, because we all love this music, and it's nice to kind of read about different people's experience of going to see these people, because with the changing world that we're living in, it's becoming more and more important, these kind of experiences. And try and leave an interesting story. Don't just say, hey, I saw him, it was great. Just try and give us a bit of information, maybe drop some unique perspective into your comments. So anyway, so this album is I think it's really great, and it's kind of similar to Live Alive. It's in a similar period, because it doesn't have anything on it from instep. It's more from the soul to soul kind of vibe. So you know, it's got side A, scuttle button, say what, looking out the window, look at little sister, Mary had a little lamb. Side B, ain't gonna give up on love, superstition, cold shot. Side C, couldn't stand the weather, life without you. Side D, come on, like the Hendrix thing. Love struck baby, rude mood. So it's just an absolute kind of monster of an album, and because you know it's a live broadcast, it makes it really interesting as a document, especially when you hear the radio announcers talking in between set, you know, before the encore and stuff like that. I think it's really kind of cool. So anything else I need to talk about before we get jamming? I'll try and do some time links in the description for this one. I don't know how much of this album I'm going to go through. I bought it at the weekend. I jammed along with side A and B on Monday, jammed along with side C and D yesterday, and I remember thinking, God, I must be mental trying this. And now it's Wednesday, and I usually put one up on a Wednesday night. If you don't know that, subscribe, and you know, this is where we hang out on a Wednesday, 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So yeah, there's going to be things that I'm going to catch and some things I'm not going to catch. But what you should get is an overall kind of, I'll try and include the progressions, the chord progressions, some of the main kind of riffs and things like that. So, you know, do hang around or watch as much as you can, you know, because it's really about playing along with the record. It's about vinyl jam. It's about building up the intensity, having fun, putting all of these things that you're picking up into some practical use. You know, use your imagination. Imagine you're standing on a stage with Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, jamming, or you know, so gear wise, I've got Fender original 60s reissue. I think these guitars are great. I should probably do a separate video on the original series. It might be interesting for people because I have a few of them. And I think they're great for someone that's owned a lot of vintage guitars. These for me tick a lot of boxes. You know, I know a lot of people are going to be, oh yeah, you like 60 Strats and that, but I've kind of had them, and they come with, you know, issues and baggage, and you know, so you know, having these reissues, and they, you know, they've got a fingerboard radius is good, and you know, they've kind of got little modern tweaks about them, so they're kind of cool. But I'll do a separate video on that. So I've got the 60s Fender reissue Strat. I'm just using one pedal, no reverb or anything like that. I'm going straight into the computer via the 2-note torpedo, which isn't even using an amp or anything. No amp. The pedal that I'm using is a Tech 21 plexi pedal, hot rod I think it's called, and that's my favorite pedal for trying to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan, because there's something about the way that it kind of shapes the sound. It's perfect for that Stevie Ray Vaughan thing. So yeah, let's crack into it, will we? So first up is Scuttle Button. Woo! Okay, let's flip it on. I can see my coffee over there. It's going to be annoying if I can't kind of get to it, so here we go. We're on the needle and the damage. So
I'll tell you what, we'll just listen in here, and when they're ready to go, we're certainly going to know it. So live from the Man Music Center in Philadelphia, we're going to head out to Stevie Ray Vaughan here in just a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Man Music Center in Philadelphia.
It's the man.
Have some big time fun. Please welcome Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble.
Okay. It's kind of hard to pay in time there. I've got lessons on, I couple of lessons, I think, on this track on my channel. He's always so rhythmically accurate with those. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, so you know, loads of super speed, virtuoso stuff. But you know, you don't have to be Stevie Ray Vaughan. Just try and be yourself over it if you want. So back into the riff. He goes again. Okay, let me just show you that. I'm actually just going to show you the riff slow. So that's the kind of the transition. He ends on the E7 sharp 9 up the octave. And then there's a 5/4 bar where he just plays 5 kind of what I call the starts on like a G6/9 and then goes chromatically down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then we're into say what, you know that chord there with your third finger across the top 2 and your first finger across the middle 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. I call it the Heartbreak Hotel chord. Well, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell. You know, so. And then. Okay, let's check that out. Okay, so it's probably going to pick up at the end of Scott Button. Okay, it's got, that's the one he goes around again. So the intensity is like super hot in it with this. You know, you got to be well warmed up, but this is all the fun, isn't it? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is the big wah-wah track, isn't it? So you could just be trying to copy some of the phrases. So you're probably thinking, well, why aren't I using a wah-wah? It's not about pedals. You know what I mean? This is really just about jamming and having fun. Pedals are just going to get in the way. You can obviously plug in a wah-wah, but for the sake of this video, you don't want to see me pushing and pulling these kind of things around. It's really about practicing and playing, but please do plug in a wah-wah, plug in a Leslie pedal, but I won't be on these videos. So he's in that kind of like D form, and then he's kind of double timing. I love to just play with downstrokes a lot because it gets that rhythmical kind of thing a little bit more accurate. So I'm not catching much of what he's doing, but I don't really care. I'm here to jam. These are the vinyl jams. This is what we're doing, is we're using this as a vehicle to practice and be expressive. You know, I'm already feeling it in my wrist, you know, the intensity. So what have we got here? So he's doing 9 chords. You know, it's great for the vibrato. And there's that classic Stevie Ray Vaughan where he slides back to the root. So he's got that kind of bend and then catching with the little finger. Major. Cut out a little bit on it. And then back to our old E form. You know, there's kind of a few interesting things to take away there. I like the way he kind of, there was a point there where he goes, when you just play the 5th twice. Very, very simple thing. You know, da da, just starting a phrase with da da. So that's one thing I've kind of picked up already, apart from blowing all over it. Okay, what have we got next? Oh yeah. So you got that. So you've got, you know, you've got that rising thing. Oh, he's playing that. It's like a brass line, isn't it, on the original? I might go through that intro again in a minute. I think he's down the octave there. It's really about the getting the mean thing going, the mean groove. Getting those three chords in the right order. Great example of blues songwriting. Doesn't always have to be a straight 12 bar. That's cool, being able to play that riff. And then the soloing on the form. So it's D to A. Oh, staying on the E. You know, he's playing in that major sound, that so we're in A, so you've got that C form. We could be in the, you know, the G form here. And then he's in the minor. It's a really cool, nice groove to play on, not too fast. And then he's back into the verse, but you know, you're here to jam, you're here to work on your playing, so you can practice your chords, or you can be playing, you know, practicing your soloing over the top. I have the lyrics printed out. Yeah, let me go through the intro and the outro there. So he's kind of got this kind of like, for the intro you've got it's like Chuck Berry kind of style, or Buddy Holly. Very simple, but like, you know, that's what you want. So, you know, great fun. And then on the outro, he's kind of got this. So, you know, one of those kind of like. Just a straight kind of like double stop type of thing. Okay, what have we got next? I'll try and line this up so we don't go too far back. There's a lot of cover on this album. That was pretty good. Oh. So he does that on the root. Hey, 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 hey. This time he goes to the fifth. I loved him in those. When he goes hey hey. You can hear he's kind of popping in a few open. Get the body moving to try and stay in time, which isn't easy. Like I've said before, the music for me is playing way over there so that you can hear me speak. If I didn't do that, it'd be impossible to kind of record. So I don't really have the ideal sonic setup, if you like. So you got a piano solo here, plenty of opportunity to play your E-blues. Trying to catch and then the long flowing lines, you know, I can't do, you know, exactly like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I don't know many that people, there's only a few people that can, you know. There's guys like Jesse Davey, he's brilliant at it. There's a few other guys, you know, guys like Philip Sace can do it really well. But you could argue he overcooks it a little bit. He's kind of souped it up. Same as Joe Bonamassa, they soup it up so much that, you know, well, they've done their own thing with it, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And that's what it's all about, really, is we're trying to take something from this language and make our own thing out of it. Because we can't be Stevie Ray Vaughan, can we? We're not superhuman. You know, we do a bit of this with Stevie Ray Vaughan, we do a bit with Clapton, we do a bit with Freddie King, we do a bit with Rory Gallagher. All of these things, Peter Green, all these influences soak in. Maybe unique guys like the guy who plays in the local pub on a Saturday night. He influences you, so you get, you know, hopefully you're learning off kind of more individual influences as well, you know. probably thinking, why is he staying on the same pickup all the time? It's the pickup that I can hear. It has the most kind of clarity. You know, yeah, so on the end there, he went F sharp, F, E9. I'm keeping that sonically pretty straightforward because it's really about the playing, not necessarily the effects. You know, the sound is kind of close enough. On a gig, he would flip. He sounds he's slightly out of phase, this. So I'm in between the bridge and the middle pickup. You know, did you hear that he took the riff up the octave, didn't he? That was the lick I was searching for a minute ago. On the middle pickup now. So you could be practicing that, you know. Kind of slightly overcooking it there. It's kind of, I always feel better when I slightly underplay, just try and play a little bit more melodic phrases. So kind of really just funking out on this, on a blues, but it's not like a 12-bar blues. It's actually starting on the 4 chord. It's in E, but it starts on A. I wish I had a bit more time with this record before I videoed it. Part of my brain is going, what are you doing here? But hopefully you're getting something out of it. I love it when he does that scuffy kind of like... So he's not picking in a true sense, he's doing that kind of scuffle. So cool, a bit of dynamics coming into play. And they haven't really done that so far on this gig, have they? They've been kind of going at it full pelt. So that's kind of interesting, where he just bends up to the fifth, and then just go a semitone below, and then do a... We'll be doing loads more there in a minute on another track, but you know, if you're bending the 17th and then the 16th semitone, and then maybe you'll bend the 15 a full tone. It's kind of a real, you know, Albert King, Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's really great to experiment with them. Okay, they're in full flight now. Full flight. Okay, so that was pretty intense, wasn't it? And that's only the first side. Do I keep going? Shall I flip it over? Yeah, let's go for it, will we? I can't even remember what's on the next side. But just to clear up what I said there about Joe Bonamassa and Philip Sayce, I don't want to take any heat over that. I'm big fans of both them. I probably have all of Philip Sayce's albums. And I've, you know, followed Joe Bonamassa for, you know, a long time. So huge respect for them as artists. But they, you know, they were obviously hugely influenced by Stevie Ray Vaughan. And they've kind of almost taken something that was virtuoso and taken it into a realm where it's kind of, you know, just completely, it's not just on fire, it's like an inferno. So it's an interesting observation, you know, or at a discussion point. Has it kind of gone past the point of, you know, can you really perceive what's going on? Because when you watch Philip Sayce, he's so awesome and intense, you know, that kind of virtuosity will probably go over a lot of people's kind of heads. And maybe less so with Joe Bonamassa and stuff like that, but, you know, super duper amazing musicians, you know. You know, they would be my modern heroes as much as Stevie Ray Vaughan. But it's an interesting thing to kind of like talk about, like, when does technique, you know, and when does playing just get too hot to be, you know, effective and communicate and affect people on an emotional level, you know. Sometimes I'm playing and I'm going, you know, I don't need to go there, you know what I mean? That's too far. Just pull it back a little bit, say something a little bit more simple that people can connect with. You know, that's just, you know, my perception of things, but everyone's different, obviously different tastes. Okay, let's rock into this. Okay, I'm going to drop the needle and then turn it on, so do it the wrong way round there. I hope my my phone, which is my camera, holds out for this. Okay. So I have quite a few Stevie Ray Vaughan videos up where, you know, I play along with the record note for note. I'm not doing that here. This is a different thing. This is me just blowing and having fun. Remember what I said before about that he did it again? He played the fifth twice and then went about his business. So I noticed that on the track Soul to Soul. So even if you just pick up that one thing, and there's that kind of like, so that, so and again, there's these, what I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's kind of almost 7 notes. So if you're not aware of the chords, you know we're in A and we're on the D chord, D9 now. And he likes to do that 6 style interval. What's cool about this is really nice middle 8, isn't there? Great voice, Stevie Ray Vaughan. He had the whole package, didn't he? Distinctive, authentic to the blues, you know. And then, you know, if you watch the video where I play this one note for note, you'll see he uses that finger a bit. Whenever you talk about Stevie Ray Vaughan, you always talk about string gauge, don't you? So, what string gauge am I using? 9s. I used to use 13 to 56, but then as you get older, you go, oh, I want to be able to play into my 80s. I don't want to have carpal tunnel and repetitive strain injuries unnecessarily. So, you know, just go for like whatever's manageable, whatever you can hit those notes with. Now, if you've got big, you know, superhuman hands and you can do 13s, go for it. But don't expect a kind of an injury-free playing experience. So this is the D, A. It's kind of a B minor, C sharp. A with an C sharp, D, E minor, F diminished, D with an F sharp, A, B minor, C diminished, A with a C sharp, D, E minor, F diminished, D with an F sharp, A, B minor, C diminished, C, A with a C sharp, B, C sharp minor, D diminished, B with a D sharp, E7. Woo! That was a mouthful. Like Stevie Ray Vaughan doesn't even play those chords, that you can hear it all on the Hammond. But you know, if you're going to play this in a band, you need to be able to put them down, because you know the luxury of having a keyboard probably is not going to be there. You know that. So you know, if I was, you know, 14 now and just playing along with this, I'm not really that concerned with what he's doing. I just want to play. You know, I'm just trying to do my best to kind of be expressive. So I want to go up here and get those major and the minor. You know, such intensity. Kind of choking out a bit. So I've played all of these tunes probably on gigs before, so maybe I can kind of, you know, the intensity is all right for me. I'm kind of used to it, and I know that on a gig with the adrenaline look, you just kind of, you get into it. You don't feel the burn as much. a bit dull sound in there. Find the tone pot rolls down on this a bit. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's just being able to play along with the record and lose yourself. I'm not really doing that here, because if I do that, then I'm kind of zoning out from you, and I'm trying to have a dialogue with you out there, you know? So, you know, I mean, how many times have I strayed outside the E and the D form? Not that much. It's been, you know, I might go to the major form, you know, the C major. There's the A form. Yeah, it's cool. I always loved that bit. And then it's just, you know, that's probably one of the most important Stevie Ray Vaughan's things, is bending up that minor third and then playing the C, you know. So, sounds a little bit hotter this side than the last side, a little bit kind of louder, because I can't hear my guitar as much as I could on the first side. So it's going to be interesting now. What's the next track? The next track is...
Thank you so very much.
Superstition, alright. So, a few ways of playing this. You can play your respects to Stevie Ray or Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
As in, like, well, let's play along and see what kind of happens.
Are you sure?
I used to love that kind of footage, you know, that Channel 4 footage of him being interviewed and he's just sitting there with the guitar. I transcribed a lot of that because I recorded it on video cassette off the telly, where he plays Rude Mood and he talks about Stevie Wonder, and you know, amazing piece of footage, and his tone is just outrageous. Okay, here we are. If you're trying to get used to that scuffy way of the way Stevie Ray Vaughan plays, you're going to get the opportunity to practice that playing along with the record, aren't you? So you could play some of the riff. I'll do it on the next time round. He's pretty much just playing the chord, and then you've got a B, C, B, B flat, A, B7 sharp 9. So that's like this, you know, the Stevie Wonder thing, isn't it? It's almost like the keyboard play like that. A, B7 sharp 9. if you're playing and you're not singing, you could be hinting at both of them, the Stevie Ray and the Stevie Wonder, couldn't you? Always takes me a while to warm up into a track. So down the bottom end. Gives him somewhere to go, doesn't it? You know, trying to keep that up. And now he's back into this territory. So I'm not really concerned about picking the way that you play scales. I'm really kind of getting that, you know. When I play a note, it's almost like you're moving about a foot with your whole arm. They go to the 5 chord, if I remember rightly, and hang on that for a while, don't they? There you go. And then E7 sharp 9. Da-da-da-down. Okay, cold shot. I've definitely got a tutorial on YouTube on this one. Again, playing it note for note. That's not what we're doing here. We're just jamming, blowing, having a bit of fun. Don't worry about Leslie pedals and all of that shite. Just plug in, turn up, have a bit of fun. No pedals, just play. Just get a decent core sound. To the D. Not really worried about what's going on too much, trying to just stay within the groove. I play that E7 sharp 9 with a natural 5th on top. It just kind of sounds cool. I'm not exactly sure if that's what he does, but that's what it sounds like. And again, trying to hit the relevant notes and getting that percussive sound. There's a lot of dampening just to let, you're only letting certain notes through. So this is probably the solo coming up now. It's a Hammond solo, and he's just kind of comping the riff, isn't he? The tone pot on this strat always rolls down. I'm gonna have to stick a little bit of blue tack onto it or another. I went to play on the D there and it kind of changed a bit early. Well, it didn't change early. I was late to the party. Here we go. So this is kind of like the record, isn't it? And then a cool stop. Just make sure you can practice standing up, you know. Ideally I'd be filming these with me standing up, but I tried it on the first one and I couldn't get the angle, so. But you know, dim the lights, turn it up, get your guitar doing, don't worry about pedals, just play. Double stops, tremolondo. Oh, there's the kind of, so you're kind of hitting a D to the A. It's like, it always reminds me of that bit in I'm Tore Down where he goes to the river, you know? Hope you can't hear my foot because foot's kind of going like this and it's probably picking up on the microphone. But you know, trick is not to stop the record as well. Try and keep that record going all the way. That chord, which is really Stevie Ray Vaughan, yeah? It's the sharp 9, but with the natural 5th on top. So, you know, again, don't worry about transcriptions. It's a different style of practice. Oh, straight in. B minor, can't stand the weather. A. G. You're just playing on every chord like it's a new key. There's that chord again, the F sharp. So that's the end of that side. Side A, and say, should we keep going? We're up to an hour already, but you can see how this is a great workout and you don't really feel the time going by. So let's, okay, I'm gonna have to put the guitar down, but I'm gonna keep talking. And it's kind of great fun, and I know like some of the purists out there are going to be going, oh, you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and you know, what about the riff to this? And you know, playing along with records is about just really about having fun, and I kind of feel like that's what this channel needs a little bit, because I do quite a lot of serious stuff on this channel. Like I did recently, I did that blues in all keys, and there's a lot of kind of jazzy stuff. And I think when I was thinking of a new series to try and do, I wanted to something that kind of reflected what I really did in real life, as well as those things. Now, when I practice things like giant steps in all keys, and I do very technical stuff, and you know, sight reading and writing lots of etudes. But also, I just go, right, that's enough of that nonsense. Let's stick a record on and let rip. So here we go. This is side C, and interestingly enough, the intro to Couldn't Stand the Weather was on the last side. So I suppose if you buy this on CD, you don't have that issue. It's just a vinyl issue. So let's drop the needle, get some damage going. Okay, so I hope I can play this now. Like I said, get it in a second. Yeah, from the F sharp. Yeah, you got this. So I'm just kind of funking there, and you hit that F in an octave. Play some double stops, and then you slide in with the major third. Maybe get your thumb involved as well, and then I kind of just jam it out. You can hear he's doing it differently every time, isn't he? So D minor. B minor. A. G. F sharp 7 sharp 9. Verse 2. You know, funking away on that pretty aggressively. But he's kind of mixing it, isn't he? B minor. Going to the A. G. F7 sharp 9. F sharp 7 sharp 9. So we're soloing in the key of D. I might just let rip on this one for about a minute and just see what happens. So, yeah. Okay, B minor, A, G. He's just playing B minor through it all. All right. Chris Whipper-Layton, isn't it? I'd probably say something like that, won't he? So, and again, you could just be using this as a practicing the riff, like. Another guy who's great at this, obviously, is Kenny Wayne Shepherd. He's he's just got it down to a fine art, and he's someone actually who doesn't overcook it too much, like. But like, if you were, critical, you could say, he's so much in that camp. It's hard to hear, the unique voice, but he does. He does have a unique voice. It depends on, how close you get into that music. If you listen to that music a lot, you can hear the difference. If you listen to it on a surface level, you go, geez, that sounds just like Stevie Ray Vaughan. But there are intricacies in there that are individual to Kenny Wayne Shepherd. So, bit of Tommy Shannon kind of groove in there. So now you're getting jazzy. So perfect thing to give to a keyboard player, because they can play more linear on this. You could be practicing like that. So I'm playing Dorian. It's a nice break from that. there's chromatic approaches mainly. I might play on A minor just momentarily. Which is kind of nice. It's a you know, a bit of a change from doing that pure blues thing. So back into more funk style. I love the way he says dabba da bam ba dabba 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 down. You can do those. Dabba 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 down. That real Hendrix thing, isn't it? Ba, 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 da, ba. And then try and lose yourself a little bit. Okay, now we're breaking it down. Okay. So that was kind of cool. He did like a G, F, and then a down, down, down. Okay, what do we got here? Oh yeah. That's A. F sharp. So you can So what he was doing there was like just going from the A to the F sharp, and he used that kind of slightly Hendrixy. I'm a little bit kind of out with the track tuning wise, but I think we'll be okay. So it's a great one for practicing major and minor. This goes to the C sharp there. You can just use that Hendrix voicing and up to the D. And then down to the B. To the D. And the E. Lots of those sus things. So that's just A, C, F sharp, A, F sharp, and then you're into the D. Automatically down to the B. goes all the way down to G. You might like to listen to the record, see how he approaches it. And then you've got the E and the G, you know, E7 sharp 9. I mean, I used this chord progression on a song on the last album, Written in Chains, which is the last track, and I used that A to F sharp. You know, it's a great expressive vehicle because you can go major, minor, loads on it. So if you're interested in listening to some of my music, maybe Google Written in Chains, and you'll hear that you know, that's what I'm going for. It's a straight lift, but so what, you know what I mean? And he's going like that. So he's kind of starting in like what I call the oasis, you know, like on the A, which is the G form, the major, and then he's going to the E form, which is the minor. So he's keeping the Mickey in the pants there, just staying low and major. I'm not really playing exactly like Stevie Ray Vaughan, but trying to match the intensity and try and be myself a little bit and lift what I can. It does help if you have a bit of volume where you can hang on to notes a little bit more. You know, that's something to talk about really, but I mean, one concept is to approach it like you're just playing an F sharp minor and then playing an A minor, playing an F sharp minor, playing an A minor, and then you're kind of almost getting that A major, A minor kind of tonality, but just be aware of where your roots are. You know, that Written in Chains track that I did is in G to E minor, and weirdly it wasn't that conscious a decision, it was something I lifted subconsciously. And there's another track called Peace for Joe, which coincidentally is the last track on the Love Breaks the Fall album. That uses a similar chord progression, but it's A to D major 7, and D major 7 shares a lot of the same chord tones as F sharp minor. So there's a lot of this stuff that just sits in your subconscious and you end up lifting, and then you go later on, you go, whoa, yeah, that's the same, you know? Because the language is pretty simple, and that's what we're trying to do here playing along with the record, isn't it? It's really just speak the language. So it's nice to have a little bit of a breakdown now after all of that intensity. So you can get sweet, you can just roll down the volume a bit.
You know, right now, the most important thing in my life.
Sound a bit more like Clapton there, don't I, than Stevie Ray, but
First of all, I thank God I'm alive today.
think about, you know, the minor,
And I mean that.
and then the major third. Because that fits with both of the chords, you know.
Too many years of my life thinking that the big party was the whole thing. You know?
The big party. Times have changed. Don't get that
It took me quite
much
a while to find out
opportunities to party these days, do we?
that the real deal is
I always loved this on the Live Alive. I remember buying that album, you know, when I was
enough of a person on your
my
own.
mid-teens and
Nobody
hearing this
loves
big
you.
speech, and I think, you know, it has an effect on you when you hear your heroes talk about,
You see,
you know, their experiences and
we are
what the kind of,
as far as I can tell.
you know, what their beliefs are. It has a knock-on effect, and I think that's why they're important records, especially at this time, with the Black Lives Matter and everything. You know, it's a kind of, you know, Steve Ray Vaughan.
And sometimes
You know, I saw that his statue was defaced there. You know, it's just kind of crazy, you know. But obviously, you know, a musician so influenced by, you know, African American kind of culture and the blues and where it kind of comes from. There couldn't be anybody any more respectful to that culture that, you know, than someone like Steve Ray Vaughan. You know, we can all hope, we can all just, you know, identify with this message that, you know, people,
hurting myself.
you know, decide to
Consequently.
treat each other by the golden rule, as they say. That's another Steve Ray Vaughan,
What I'm
isn't
trying to
it?
get across to you,
Kind of use the golden rule. Treat other people as you'd like to be treated.
please take care of
I
yourself.
like that.
And those that you love.
So that was like an E, F sharp, E, F sharp, E, F sharp, A.
And that is what we can't take care of. Are you with me?
And then he's back into this, like, can you imagine what that sounded like, really loud, you know, in front of the amps. You know, he would have been able to hold that note all day, because it's like, I think there might be a version of me doing that written in chains somewhere on the internet. And it's so much easier just to hold back when you're playing on the stage with a Marshall cranked or the Vox cranked, or the Fender cranked. He's got these train wreck things kind of going on. Just let yourself rip. Actually, don't, you know, you've got to almost play with a punk rock sensibility. Don't worry about sometimes if you're playing too much or too little. It's what you want to do. And what you want to do is what you want to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. So there he's going to the F sharp minor. So he's doing kind of like a sixth sound there, isn't he? Right up the octave. Yeah, you know, classic stuff. Whew, how are you getting on with this? Are you still playing along? Have you fallen asleep? Are you just still playing? Like the record's still playing? I think it's a great record if you haven't picked it up. I mean, it's not that much different to live, but I think it's definitely worth kind of checking out if you're a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. I quite like these radio broadcast kind of things. You can all this stuff in a minute where you hear the radio DJs talk over it and they're waiting for him to kind of come back for the encore is kind of great because it makes you feel like you're there, especially if you've got it up loud and you've got the lights dimmed.
Pennsylvania.
And hang on a minute.
Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble. We expected a hot show, and we sure.
I'm just going to actually use the tuner here for a sec.
I'm Dan New from WNEW-FM.
And I'm Bubba John Stevens from WMMR in Philadelphia.
And we are very thrilled to be bringing
The guitar's not too bad, but you know.
Probably would expect after a set like that, Stevie Ray Vaughan is going to come back and give us an encore. I just can't imagine how he did not come back and give us one.
Yeah, so let's flip it over. Will we see if we can get the last side in? This is pretty adventurous, and my phone's holding out well. If it doesn't...
Yeah, that's right. And he said he was going to...
Here we go. So let's flip it over for the last side. Okay, so what have we got? I can't remember. Let's just play and see what happens. What would he do for an encore if he was... I've got him tangled up in my guitar stand. So... What would he do for an encore? Probably Love Struck Baby, for sure. Remember that's on here. Oh yeah, come on. Love Struck Baby and Rude Mood. Holy moly, Rude Mood. Jeez, I'm wrecked. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with that, but we'll give it a whirl, will we? Here we go.
Come on, baby, I need you to say.
Good times roll. So he starts off with that. So you've got this 15 and 16 to the two 14s. Kenny Wayne Shepherd does a great version of this, doesn't he?
People talking, but they just don't know.
Put a little tremolo on the end.
I love you, baby, like a man I love gold. Baby, like a...
Oh yeah. So you got that little riff.
And make believe they keep a lot of dirt up their sleeve. I love them, baby.
Great track to play.
Baby, like
All sharp 9 chords I'm playing here. Blowing in E. There's a nice little thing here, isn't it? So that's just octaves there with your thumb and your third finger going chromatically up to the, you know, and then you can add your first finger and then it becomes like a power chord and you go up and then you start playing Chuck Berry stuff. You know? So this is just... I'm just moving between that D form and the E form, that little shed and the Chuck Berry. It sounds like he's doing a little pull off to the open string or something there. I'm not very good at that, but kind of things you do on the heat of the moment on a gig and they turn out to be good. Okay, here we go again.
it's even nicer when you feel so good. You got me flipping like a flag on a pole. Baby, like
super Hendrixy, isn't it? And then you can just be practicing your solo in here. Maybe, I haven't said this yet in this lesson, we're nearly going for an hour and a half here, and it's like, you know, just play through every position. And then work your way down. That bend up, play a note from which it came. Always works. It's always going to be that kind of double time scuffly thing. I need to check out a bit more myself. And then there's that thing. So pretty straightforward. That you got on as if you're playing on the E, as if you're playing on the D, as if you're playing on the A. It's hard to play in time this. I might stop it in a minute and just go through some of this stuff. So keyboard player, keyboard solo. That classic B.B. King style, pull off and then slide. So you got the root, the flat 7, the 5th. Kind of sounds out of phase again there. You know, not distorted. There's a, you know, he's always been super clean, Stevie Ray, hasn't he? A lot of double stops. And there's that kind of diminished shape where you can just drop the root if you want and play it. I like to play a lot of downstrokes up the octave. Do a bit of this in a minute. Okay, now he's going into rude mood, which is just complete madness if I'm going to play along with that, which I am, because why would we come this far and stop? Okay, so Love Struck Baby. You You can hear there's no reverb at all on my sound. I'm keeping it as dry as possible, you know. because that's part of the sound. I think if you start putting kind of spatial effects on it, you know, it can kind of change the way that you play, you know. So anyway, you've got this. So it's 1, 2, 3. And when you're playing the chords, try and get those. Can you hear that? So I'm doing the. Now you might see Steve Ray Vaughan pop his little finger up. I don't really have the hand size to get up there, so I just catch it with my first finger. Well, I'm a love struck baby. Well, I'm a love struck baby. Well, I'm a love struck baby. Yeah, I know just what to do. And then you got that. You know, he was just a Chuck Berry style ending. You know, on this, you know. Now, it goes into... I played along with Rude Mood yesterday, and I was like, holy shit, that's fast and hard, and it's kind of hard to stay in time with because it's just thundering along. But what I thought I'd do is I'd concentrate on the first... I'd show you the first two choruses, and then we'd just jam it out. So the first chorus, he just plays, you know, the... So you've got that. Just ripping. And you've got this nice run up. Now you can do it there. Do it all on one string if you want. Or... I've seen Steve Ray Vaughan do it both ways, actually, typically. So I'll just do that one more time at full speed. So. And then he does that great chorus, which is just, I just love it. I'm going to do it slow first for my own sake, but. It's just fantastic that I think for the last however long since I was a teenager I've been trying to play that, you know, so and sometimes, you know, it's kind of like a B and then it's kind of like a C with a G in the bass. And then back to the B7, so he doesn't go like 5 to the 4 chord, you know, so. So I'll go through that slowly one more time. Does it twice and then goes. The trick is he does it twice and then he comes down. And then, you know, just free for all it there. So let's play along. Like I said, it's really hard to stick with the track on this, but we'll do our best. So here we go. Whoa, straight in on that. You bent that. So yeah, that's the kind of little major thing, Freddie Kingish type of thing. he's doing it, and then open riffs, pretty similar to the last chorus. Oh yeah. So this, hang on, I'll show you this. So he's doing this. So he's kind of doing his own version of what he did on the record, which is... So... So he's kind of using that big fast riff. You know, I'd have to warm up into that. I mean, he says after playing Stevie Ray Vaughan for an hour and a half. Here we go. Let's get back into this. See if we can get this record finished. Woo! That's actually too fast for me. I just can't get that. That's a really cool level. And that's it. So he's riffing on the A. There's an interesting arrangement thing. He stays on the A for a while. Yeah, he uses those two different A7 shapes. So this is the piano solo. You know, this is kind of red hot stuff, isn't it? So, oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's no way of anticipating and being able to keep up with that completely, but, you know, such inspiring stuff, isn't it? I feel like we shouldn't have stopped it there. We should have let the crowd play out. I'm actually going to line that up. I feel like we've come this far. We should let them take their bow.
Live from Philadelphia, the Man Music Center. That's Stevie Ray Vaughan with Double Trouble.
Yeah, we needed to hear just that last bit there, the DJ. So, what do you think of that? Was that just madness? Oh, it felt like madness to me. But, like, you learn so much just playing along with the record about, you know, song form, you know, intensity, what you feel like you need to work on, what you can kind of help put into your own identity, arrangement. Things can be very, very simple. They don't have to be that complicated. When you think of the intro to kind of like... you know, really, really simple, or you know, when you think about, hang on, I'm practicing scales like this all the time. It didn't sound anything like that. Maybe you need to think about playing, experiment with blues scales or something and playing it in that kind of... just with downstrokes. You know, and then you get some of that kind of like scuffly sound that you can't articulate. You can't really write that into a tab or write that in notation. You know, it is a totally hourly learnt thing. So you could go through your E blues with just downstrokes. Going through my 5 positions of the E. But I'm not playing them like I'm playing normally, I'd normally do my scales. I've taken a bit of a swing at the notes. They're all downstrokes. You could practice it alternate. You know, jagga, 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 jagga. And you've got all of these kind of ghost notes and kind of crazy harmonics kind of like washing around that kind of fills up the sound. So there you go. Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble live, 1988. Blues You Can Use, Philadelphia. Oh, 1987. Sorry, my mistake. 1987. Like I said, I only bought this the other day. So it's pretty fresh on me. But what great fun. And please leave a comment, subscribe. Check out the website, mikebrookfield.com. Email me if you've got anything you want to get off your chest. Like, please don't mess around with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Sacred stuff. So, see you on the next one. And keep it burning. Thanks for hanging out, yeah?